Something new. Something different. Something entertaining. Something informative. Something creative. And something to listen to. You are listening to Something Cinematic. A show for moviegoers by a moviegoer. Something Cinematic begins right now. Welcome to Something Cinematic. I am Timdiana, enduring it in search for credit. Okay, let's get this over with. DC Comics have been a part of the movie world for some time now, but only two of their prominent heroes have ever found success on the silver screen. Now, another name can be added to that list. Green Lantern. Green Lantern marks the third DC mainstream superhero to make it to the movies. But will this film be its brightest day or its blackest night? And the surprises may await you in this review of Green Lantern. The plot of Green Lantern tells the iconic story of Hal Jordan becoming a part of the Green Lantern Corps and becoming the intergalactic hero protecting Earth with no fear. Unfortunately, this is the movie's biggest flaw. It's not so much the story that's bad, but it's the pacing of the story. They really do not take the time to develop scenes and just let the story be told in detail. It feels like most of the time it's like they're implying things. Like, it's implied that conflict is happening. And it doesn't work. The movie's very choppy, and for that, it suffers. But really, it's not a horrific story, but pacing really kills it. The movie centers around Hal Jordan, played by Ryan Reynolds, so it only makes sense that he has the best development. And honestly, I didn't have a problem with Ryan Reynolds being Hal Jordan. Or I didn't have a problem with how they developed Hal Jordan into the story. It's just that it seemed understandable where his character was going and how his character acted. And really, I had no problem with Ryan Reynolds playing this part. And what also came to me as a surprise is that I really didn't hate Blake Lively's performance as Carol Ferris. I mean, sure, it wasn't amazing. It's no Gwyneth Paltrow and Iron Man, but she wouldn't do horrific. Just not amazing. One of the characters I did have an issue with was Hector Hammond, played by, I believe, Peter Skarsgård. I don't know if I'm saying that name right. Probably saying it wrong. Probably am. Anyway, I really didn't like this character as a villain. It's just, I just didn't care. And when you have like the other characters in this movie and the other big villain, which is Parallax, he just seems so insignificant. So I didn't care for him. And that comes to be a big issue when it comes to Green Lantern in general, is because you think about it, how many villains does he have, really? I think that's the issue, though. It's that he doesn't really have that many iconic villains, so it makes it difficult to start a franchise off with this kind of villain. When you know he's just kind of like a stepping stone to a bigger villain. Which I did think they did a good job not, going with Green Lantern's arch nemesis in the first film. I did like that, but I just didn't care for this villain that is Hector Hammond. Now, when it comes to the rest of the supporting cast, I like them. I just wish they had more development. I mean, I really like the voices of Jeffrey Rush as Tomare and Michael Clark Duncan as Kilowog. I really did like their voicing. I just wish they had more development. And there is one good performance in this that I think clearly helps this film, and that would be Mark Strong as Sinestro. I liked how they developed this character, even though I think he needed more screen time, but I really think he developed him well. I think they made a good choice when picking Mark Strong to play this character. And hopefully, if there are more movies to come, hopefully this character is more developed in a later time, which I think he will. Director Martin Campbell had a few good decisions with this movie, and he had some few bad ones. Honestly, I think he did a great job trying to bring out the essence of Green Lantern, but the issue I have with his directing is that it just felt like too stereotypical of a superhero movie, because it feels like it's, he gets the powers, and he has a villain, and, he gets the girl, and all that kind of stuff. And it's just way too stereotypical, especially when you're dealing with something like Green Lantern, when it's something that could have been so different from the rest of the superhero genre. It could have been something really different, and I felt like they didn't take the time to create that. They created it to be too much of a stereotypical superhero film. But besides that decision of having that idea with the story, I didn't mind Martin Campbell as a director. As I said, I really think he did bring out the main ideas of Green Lantern. I think he brought that to life, but really it gets lost in translation when it does come to when it comes to translates to the silver screen. What doesn't come to me as a surprise is the visuals of this film, because they are really good. I mean, there is no other way you're going to do this movie without seeing some big effects, with all kinds of things, with like the suit, and, Oa, and the constructs. Really, it is no surprise, and I think it did a great job with that. I liked how they're able to translate the action with, Green Lantern using the constructs, and how they translate that into some cool effects and some cool action scenes. I did like that. I also like the design of the film. I like the look of the costumes. I like the look of the rings. I like how there's a very cosmic looking feel to those suits, more than you actually would get from seeing them from the comics. Nothing against some of the comic creators or any artwork like that, but I really liked the design for Green Lantern and just about all the other stuff that created the world of Green Lantern. And that's about it. Green Lantern is far from perfect. A movie that could have been innovative turned out to be nothing more than a stereotypical superhero film. Despite all of its problems, the movie is okay. It is exciting enough, and it's not too painful. It's only a little painful. Green Lantern receives 3 out of 5 hats for sheer mediocrity. And this concludes Something Cinematic. You want to talk about Green Lantern? Talk about movies in general? Contact me at somethingcinematic@gmail.com. Till then, I am Timdiana, And it is now time to say the Timdiana Oath. In brightest day, in blackest night, no movie shall escape my sight. Let those who worship bad green lights beware my critiques, Timdiana's might. I'll go now.